Hello and welcome turn-based lovers, this is Leaf back at it again with another sponsored video. This time we'll be showcasing a turn-based RPG from Netmarble and Kabam Games. Kabam Games is widely known for games such as Shop Titans and Marvel Contest of Champions. But in this latest endeavor, they are stepping into the realm of deep strategy turn-based RPGs with King Arthur Legends Rise, a reimagining of the classic Arthurian legend for the next generation of squad-based online RPGs. The game is a character collector where you'll be recruiting a cast of unique and powerful characters to complete a roster that you have envisioned. Being made with Unreal Engine 5, the game features some visually stunning 3D graphics, high-fidelity character models, and satisfying visual effects and animations. The game also features a seamless cross-platform play and progression, letting you freely switch between your PC and mobile devices. For those playing on the PC, the game has also now been released on Steam, so you can now easily play King Arthur Legends Rise directly from within your Steam library. And before we begin, I'd first like to thank Netmarble for sponsoring this video. King Arthur Legends Rise takes place in the Isles of Arthurian Britain, where we follow the adventures of a young King Arthur who finds his kingdom besieged by a dark force during his early reign as a fully fledged king. In this era, Britain is a fragmented land of different kings vying for power, and they will stop at nothing to prevent Arthur's rise to kingship as the one true heir. King Arthur's journey takes players across the different lands of Britain, featured by the game's stunning 3D environments rendered in Unreal Engine 5. Throughout the adventure, you'll be encountering a bright cast of characters, both friend and foe, that you may recognize from the tales of King Arthur. The story is divided into two modes, the main story and the adventure mode. The main story chronicles the rise of Arthur's power and authority, having you face off against the dark and evil powers of the vile witch Morgana and the ancient evil gods and deities. The adventure mode, on the other hand, explores the lives and events of the people of Arthurian Britain, letting you freely explore an open world where you can discover additional stories and be rewarded with useful resources. The story of King Arthur Legends Rise is an interesting spin on the Arthurian legend with its deep and engaging story arcs and dynamic characters. The combat in this game is actually very deep and engaging. It is not only visually appealing, but is also filled with nuance and mechanics that every strategical turn-based gamer craves. Combat is turn-based, but with an active time battle system for dictating turns. This means that every unit in the field has an internal clock that dictates their turn order. This also gives way for the attack speed stat that lets characters perform earlier than others, which lets you gain the initiative in battles. There is also an elemental system composed of three elements that work as a rock, paper, scissors mechanic, wherein storm beats glacial, glacial beats fire, and fire beats storm, and the type of element a character carries is solely dictated by their equipped relic. All characters in the game have three active skills that can be performed during their turn, and the types and effects of each of the skills vary between characters and their relics. Some characters excel in dealing single target damage, some characters do better when going against a group of enemies, while some focus on keeping your team alive through either shields or heals. But there are many more characters with unique abilities that you can explore. The amount of variety in this game opens it up to an infinite amount of strategies and combinations for you to discover. I mentioned earlier that the abilities and the element a unit has is dictated by their relics. Relics are a character's weapon, and they all come in three flavors for every character, each variation being one of the three unique elements. Every character starts with one specific relic, and you'll be able to get the other relics through shops, events, and on summons. Changing the relic also changes the abilities that a character can use while on the field, so a character that has access to all three of its relics is a valuable unit that can be effective in various situations. The main way to recruit new characters is by summoning them through Lake Avalon. This is essentially the game's gacha mechanic and features different banners for specific summons. There's a limited rate-up banner for the current season's new character, the normal summon for the mostly cannon fodder characters, the special summon for the standard rare and legendary characters, and the relic summons for getting new relics. What I like about the summoning system in this game is that you're able to exchange unwanted shards for the ones you prefer instead. There are many ways to increase your character's combat ability, with the main one being levels and advancements. Leveling up a character increases their base stats, and advancing them every 10 levels further boosts their stats and unlocks additional passive skills. Earlier, I also talked about Relics, which you can also level up, but in my case, I haven't reached that point of the game just yet. Aside from those, the game also features an equipment system, letting you outfit your team with different sets of armor that grants various bonuses via their main and substats. There are 6 different equipment types. The helmet always has attack as the main stat, the body armor gives defense, and the boots gives HP. The main stats for the 3 remaining equipment types, namely the necklace, the earrings, and the ring, vary depending on the actual item. Equipment also has sets that give huge stat bonuses when equipped accordingly. For example, my Tristan has a 4-piece attack set equipped and a 2-piece defense set for that little extra survivability. Deciding on the character's equipment in this game is entirely up to you, and their performance in battle heavily depends on how you build each and every one of them. Even if the game is generous enough to give you ample resources at the early stages of your playthrough, you will eventually hit a wall. In this case, you'll need to grind some resources in what the game calls the restricted area, which are a bunch of dungeons containing bosses that give out specific upgrade materials, equipment, and resources when defeated. Being in the somewhat early stages of the game, I only have access to a few of these challenges, but their availability this early was a huge blessing for building up my team. As you go further into the game, more of these challenges unlock and you'll have more options for the resources that you want. King Arthur Legends Rise also features a clan system, a system that lets you progress together with other players, letting you earn additional bonuses for yourself and your clan members as you progress further into the game. There are also weekly clan raids that you can participate in for a currency that you can use in the clan shop. After you've beaten all of the story and the content that this game has to offer, at least for the current season, what better way to test your mettle than the Colosseum? An asynchronous PvP mode that pits your most well-built teams against the builds of other players. Climbing the ranks of the Colosseum rewards you with crystals that you can use to summon even more heroes, as well as honor tokens that you can use to purchase various items from the arena shop. And if you're really good enough, then you could be one of these people at the top of the rankings. Lastly, I want to give you guys an idea of how the actual gameplay feels and looks. Once you enter the game for the day, the first thing you'll probably do is claim all the daily rewards that the game throws at you. After this, it is entirely up to you on what activity you wish to do, but for the sake of this video, we'll focus more on the story mode and building your characters. Going into the story mode, you'll be greeted by an overworld that you can explore, where you'll encounter characters and dialogue that'll push the game's narrative forward. The main story mode's exploration is pretty linear, but thankfully there is an adventure mode where the map really opens up and you can further explore the world and stories in this Arthurian legend. At a certain point, you'll eventually encounter enemies that force you to go into battle. The battle encounters are set stages where you square off against predetermined enemies. There are also challenges in these encounters represented by a star. Completing all stages with 3 stars fills in a progress bar with a reward that you can claim after playing through the chapter. After going through the stages, you'll eventually come across the boss enemy at the very end of the stage. Depending on your team composition, boss encounters may prove to be pretty challenging. After playing through the story and claiming the rewards, I usually review my team's builds and which direction I want to progress moving forward. When I'm in need of resources to upgrade my units, I usually clear some stages in the restricted area for the materials to level up my characters. After all of this, it's always good to participate in the Colosseum as much as you can, because the rewards you can get from climbing are very valuable, especially for the currency to summon more characters. The combat in this game is definitely one of the main selling points, and I've actually had so much fun in the Colosseum just figuring out how to counter specific builds by potential opponents. Aside from these, there are many other activities, and fortunately I have not gotten deeper into the game yet, but considering what I've seen so far, I have a pretty positive outlook for this game's future. King Arthur Legends Rise is a surprising addition to the turn-based RPG genre. What really captivates me in this sphere is the variety of builds, playstyles, and team compositions that you can come up with, and this game has that in strides. With the game pushing content and new characters in the future, the amount of character combinations and strategies will just continue to increase. I was actually pleasantly surprised by what Netmarble and Kabam Games had come up with. I played this game for about 8 hours as of making this video, and chances are I'm still playing it as you're watching this right now. King Arthur Legends Rise is indeed a top-tier next-generation online turn-based RPG that has amazing systems, a solid IP, and eye-catching graphics. And the best part, you can play this game right now for free. King Arthur Legends Rise is available to download and play for free on Steam, Android, and iOS. And if you're looking to directly jump into the game, then consider clicking the link down in the description. Remember to hit like, subscribe if you're new around here, and remember to follow turn-based lovers for everything turn-based. This has been Leaf, and I'll see you guys on the next one.